Good morning, everyone, and very early good morning for those who are joining us from different regions. Just I wanted to maybe remind you that the session is recorded, and for recording purposes, I would like to ask you kindly if you can mute your mics for the time being, because we have a large number joining us from, I'm happy to see many of our colleagues and partners around the world joining us today. So while waiting for others to join, it would be nice if you can introduce yourself on the chat box, putting your, where are you joining us from, which country, and from which organizations. Hi. While we keep admitting everyone.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, hi, good morning, Lana.
Hi, I'm Lana Haddad from Jordan, from Crystal Company.
Hi, Lana.
I'm working as a senior HR officer and facilities supervisor.
Nice to meet you, Lana. Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Good morning, Dr. Maya. This is
Hello,
Abir.
Yes, hi, Abir.
Abir al-Khairat. Yeah, we met before.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Yes, I'm from AMKH in Dubai. I'm the managing director.
Thank you, Abir. Actually, we have seen a lot of, we had run an in-person session on GRP, and thanks to everyone's demands and corporate demands and interest in knowing more about GRP, we wanted to have this session online so many can join us from different departments. As I told you earlier, that the group is large, so we're keeping admitting people now. I'm gonna start because I don't want to delay the sessions, because we have a lot of information, and Heba is really preparing like a nice presentation to drive you and put you on actions towards GRP. So I have seen on the chat, we're having, we said from Kuwait Bank, Jordan, Kuwait Bank, we're having Diana from Dubai. Please keep putting your information or where you're coming from, which organization, in the chat box. So this is a way we can just get to know each other's. Okay. I'm happy to see familiar faces. Now, before we start, 1 second, Heba, if you allow me, I wanted to say a word about every day, actually, businesses are coming to make decisions on purchasing. So they are deciding on how to purchase goods and services from. So what if actually those businesses and yourself using this purchasing power to make progress towards gender equality through GRP? So this is actually what we're gonna see today in the session. And before we start and handing over to Heba to tell us more about herself and the program that we're running in the UAE, I'm gonna launch a quick poll to understand from yourself what is the level of knowledge about gender responsive procurement. Heba, if you kindly please start sharing meanwhile the presentation. And to kick off the session, I'll hand over to you. So in the poll, we're asking how familiar you are today with the procurement or gender responsive procurement. As well, I'm interested to know if you have any measures with regards to GRP within your organization. Over to you, Heba.
Thanks so much, Maya. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. It's really a pleasure having you from all around the world. I know that there are colleagues joining from various UN Women offices around the globe. We have our partners joining from the UAE and also from our regional offices here, from Jordan, from Palestine. Welcome. We're very happy to share this information, very important information about gender responsive procurement. And we're happy to see that you are somewhat informed, somehow informed about the topic. Actually, this session is a short session somehow. We'll try to capture as much as we can, and hopefully also we're gonna answer all your questions to make it very practical and engaging. Maya, we need to keep admitting people joining. We have people that okay. So allow me, first of all, please to introduce myself. Of course, you know Maya. Maya is she's my colleague on this Gender Responsive Procurement and Entrepreneurship Program in the UAE. She's a doctor in public administration, and as well, she's focused on diversity and inclusion and research on gender equality and women empowerment in the region. Myself, modestly, I've been working, I'm leading the program in the UAE with UN Women. We're doing a lot on women entrepreneurship in the UAE and also expanding the capacity building in the region, where women also joining from different countries. I have been working with the UN, various organizations since about 10 years, mostly on program implementation and procurement. I've worked with Food and Agriculture Organization in Oman and also UNHCR in Lebanon and the Syrian operation mainly for 5 years. I'm CIPS certified charter in procurement, level 3. I've been working, before that, I worked with different humanitarian organizations. Unfortunately, because in Lebanon we are known for so many crises. I've worked with Norwegian People's Aid, Cluster Bombs, and Mercy Corps on agriculture development projects. So this is a sample of our beautiful women engaged in our program. This was an event, mentoring event, an expo. So for today, we're gonna talk about gender responsive procurement, why it makes business sense, and practical steps how to start implementing within our organizations, and of course, giving a lot of case studies and examples global, and a little bit of some case studies in the region. Hopefully, we will have more examples from you, sharing your initiatives if you are doing anything related to empowering women entrepreneurs or buying from women initiatives, how to improve or to increase buying from women or giving them access to contracts. Please share if you have any of these initiatives. Maya, this is a little bit, very shortly, please, we're gonna tackle the gender gap issue, just to give a little bit of a background on the gender gap.
Thank you so much, Hiba. Indeed, we could say as a business community that we have come a long way with the gender equality. But really how far we are, we have actually come, and are we truly evolving? This is the questions. And based on World Economic Forum gender gap report, we can see that if we keep on the same current rate of progress, it will take us more than 132 years to close the gender gap, and around 150 years to close the economic gender gap. And this is really, we are in 2023 and we're still fighting for gender equality, and we're losing an untapped resource in terms of GDP growth as well. If you may just just go to the second slide, please, Hiba. I wanted to highlight here that procurement can be, as we said, a strategic lever to advance corporate efforts in terms of gender equality and SDGs. By adopting GRP principles, business can make progress not only towards gender equality, which is SDG 5, but also to the reduce inequalities, to work into having responsible consumption and production, as well as eliminating poverty and advancing economic growth. Now, this actions or this corporate efforts are now very pressing more than ever, especially after COVID-19 pandemic, where we have seen that women are losing job at twice or maybe 3 times higher rates than men in the workplace. More than 64 million jobs have been lost for women, as well as they were losing in terms of revenues and incomes for those women entrepreneurs. So if those corporates really do not work to ensure women entrepreneurship access to market, then we'll be having not only an economic crisis, also social crisis. One more last note to mention that I'm happy to see a lot of knowledgeable now audience we're having. You are 75% to say that you are somewhat informed, and we have a few of them who are already having GRP measures in the organization. hopefully by the end
Thank you.
we'll having more.
Thanks so much, Maya. Also, we have to talk about the access to finance for women. Of course, this is the main issue, especially during the pandemic, where we've seen actually statistics have shown that women have been refused to have access to banks loans twice as much as the companies owned by men, unfortunately. So it's a huge gap. Actually, gender responsive procurement can be an alternative to access to finance because it allows income source for these companies to continue progressing. First, please, just as I said before, please, if you can share with us in the chat what initiatives your companies are undertaking in terms of, like, let's say, sustainable development goals, probably the environment and social governance initiatives, community and social responsibilities, or diversity and inclusion, because that's all related as well to gender responsive. I mean, gender responsive procurement can be incorporated in all of these initiatives. Kindly share with us, and Maya would also share verbally later on. So what is GRP? Of course, we have to mention that it's a main principle as well under the Women Empowerment Principles, which is a UN Women Initiative and UN Global Compact. It aligns under WEPS 5, which is the engagement in the supply chain and marketing practices. Sorry, I cannot see my screen very well. Yeah, so WEPS Principle 5 is enterprise development. It's the responsibility of the organization to interfere in the enterprise development, supply chain, and marketing practices as well, because most of the principles are internally to the organization. However, there are responsibilities as well to empower women and for gender equality externally to the community. So this and the market. So this is one of them. And in brief, it is the sustainable selection of services and goods that considers the impact on gender equality and women's empowerment. We're going to talk later about the challenges faced by women-owned businesses. However, it's important here to note the difference in definitions, because sometimes you would hear a woman-owned business, sometimes you would hear a woman-led business, and sometimes you would hear gender-responsive supplier. The difference is that the woman-owned actually it's a company that is owned more than 51% by one or more women, and at the same time, women should be in control, and so she's heading the decision making for this company, and this company should be independent of any other company. However, a woman-led business, it doesn't have to be owned by one woman or more. However, it should be taken in control and managed by a woman. So we treat actually both the same, because after all, the result is the same. Women, they support women, they employ more women, and they believe in gender equality, and they give equal opportunities. So it's the same if she's owning or she's managing the firm. Gender responsive supplier, we also consider them under the gender responsive procurement, because if a company is implementing equal opportunities for their employees in terms of gender equality, that means it's a gender responsive supplier. We also encourage dealing with this company and buying from them. So this is a briefly about the survey done in the UAE just when we started the program to analyze the sectoral distribution of the companies owned by women in the UAE. It gives us an indication that women businesses are actually across all sectors. We cannot only still state that women are only in fashion or in retail they are across, and this proves it. Even in ICT, engineering, architecture, renewable energy, and okay, we have a lot of business consultancy and management. Probably this is only in the UAE. And you can see, we can share these results with you later. However, this is just to say that also women-owned businesses in the UAE are mostly small, micro to small, and they face a lot of challenges to grow. And access to procurement contract would enable them actually to survive, to sustain their businesses. Please, I would like to ask you if you can mute your microphones. It would be easier. So please share with us if you have any questions so far. So this survey was based on actually more than 1,000 women responded. In general, in the UAE also, again, hopefully we will do the same analysis in different countries. 95% of businesses are SMEs in the UAE. It's known, the SME ecosystem is very known in the UAE. So, and 50% of those companies are either owned or led by women. So actually it's a fair share. And they represent, so women-owned, women-led, they represent 20% of the workforce and 20% of the GDP. This is why it is important to support them. And in addition, we know that the procurement is a very important sector. Excuse me, please, if you can mute your microphones. So it contributes to 18% of the GDP. And most of the budgets spent by big corporates and governments, actually 1/3 of the budget is on procurement. This is why it can make a big difference if we act to solve the gender gap. Globally, this 1% figure here is not yet reflected for our region or the UAE or the Gulf or the Arab states. We're working on that and hopefully we'll have the results soon. So even though we have 50% of companies owned by women, 1% only of the procurement spend goes in return to these women-owned businesses. So this is, we're gonna go through the reasons why and why this topic is very important. It's difficult to move. Okay. Please raise your hand or share with us if you have any questions so far. In relation to the barriers, based on the survey actually and interviewing many women entrepreneurs, the barriers of women-owned business to benefit from procurement, why they don't benefit from the tenders and the procurement opportunities. So out of 1,000 women, 50% have never participated in a tender, and 1/3 said that they did participate but never won a contract, and only 20% did win a contract. So actually this is a very low figure. And the reason why this is very low, I mean in terms of awarding contracts for women-owned businesses, because also many of these reasons, they also apply to different SMEs, not only for women-owned businesses. You would realize that as well. So mostly they have limited access to information. So what happens that they don't know about the possibilities and the opportunities, and they don't know where these tenders are launched, how they can apply, what is needed in the market. So they need the market linkage and the information. And because mostly big companies, they do closed tendering procedure, not like public or the UN, how they did it. They don't announce it. It's among only their networks and their circle. So this should be improved. Large contracts, usually corporates and government, they give large contracts to big companies. So it eliminates small companies and it limits their opportunity because they ask for so many things and the big profiles only to apply. We're gonna tackle the solution for this after that. The large contracts as well, they have several demands combined in a single tender. So, for example, a company would ask for the infrastructure, for the transportation, for the telecom in a one tender. This limits small companies because they have very specific goods and services, and this is why they don't apply. The market closure, which is the truth framework, usually also big companies, they prefer to have big agreements and for a long terms because they want to facilitate things for them, the admin work for them. So It eliminates opportunities for women to apply. Complex tenders, as you know, I don't know, probably now the session today is only for buyers and the procurement entities. If we have women-owned businesses attending, they would agree with me that it is whenever they apply for a tender, it's always they find it very complex and a lot of paperwork needed, and especially they are small companies, so they don't have the capacity to do that. So there are ways how to make it more simple and less paperwork. Disproportionate financial inequality requirement. Procurement people would understand what I'm talking here. It's about evaluation of the offers when received. Usually, we shouldn't only look at the financial proposal, we also should look at the advantage of the technical proposal that gives also advantage to these women because they accommodate better the needs, and we shouldn't only evaluate based on the financial offer. Price competition, the same here, we're talking on the same thing. Often the lowest bid, we should also look at the quality of the work and the innovation and so on. Payment behavior as well, it's a barrier because women, they need to be paid fast, and the women are particularly vulnerable to late non-payment risk because majority are self-funded. Unfortunately, they are self-funded and they don't have investment or financing opportunities. Maya, do you have any comment?
Thank you, Heba. If we keep the same slide, I would like to hear from our audience today. I'm going to launch a poll, but if you have to talk, if you would like to say more in the chat, it would be great. I want you to see how familiar you are or you were with the barriers of those women on businesses. We have like large majority of women. I assume that we are all aware, but if you just let us know how familiar you were, and based on what we have discussed now so far about the challenges, and just thinking about your organization, do you have any actions that might be actionable in your organization, whether providing information about tendering process, giving detailed feedback, registering vendors by gender ownership, tracking procurement spend by gender, raising internal awareness about GRP, or investing in capacity building of those women-owned business? So far, what kind of those action could be potentially actionable in the organization? And if anyone would like to share with us a few words about this as well in the chat, you're more than welcome. I think this is important to think about it. There is a lot of barriers, Heba, right? And as you see, like the small actions can be taken in different directions to make.
Yes, we're going to talk about that. Can we share the poll, the results? Just to see.
We're asking everyone. Now we're having, perfect, 100% still. We want you all to...
okay.
We're going to share it in a few minutes. I'm just giving 1 minute more to others to reply and to put their responses. We're having now 60% who participated. Please, we want 100% participation.
Can we share the results for the audience?
I just want to make sure that everyone has
okay.
Fund, because actually we're having 64. Everyone got the poll, and you have access to the poll?
100% answered.
Excellent. So I'm going to end it now and share the results with everyone. Still have people replying. Yeah. So we have, I don't know if you can see here, but of course, I think that everyone can see now. We're having 45% were somewhat familiar. 90% were not familiar of these barriers. So I think that's important to know about the barriers of those women. And based on the actions, there are various actions that can be taken. That's nice.
Okay, so majority, they are providing information, raising internal awareness about GRP. That's very important. Giving detailed feedback. This is very important. We have to give feedback. We're going to talk about this because women, they spend a lot preparing for the tenders, and they would love to hear their gaps. What did they do wrong? Because what happens when we hear from them, they spend a lot of time, prepare the big files, and unfortunately, they don't receive back. Actually, it's more or less similar when we apply to jobs. So giving feedback, by giving feedback, you are empowering them actually to improve for next time. Registering vendors by gender ownership. Okay. Investing in capacity building. Okay, great. We're going to talk about this soon. Let me stop sharing. Okay. Maya, we need to. Okay. How to overcome these barriers that we have listed? Practices to overcome barriers. So yes, as you answered on the poll, we have to provide information and access to tender notice. We have to publicize as much as we can. I know corporates are not obliged to do that. However, public entities, UN organizations, we need to publish and liaise with women organizations so that you circulate also the tenders, such as a Chamber of Commerce, women business councils, and so on. You have so many informal women networks as well. We have so many in the UAE, I'm sure also in Jordan and other countries. We have to circulate among if we want to really make a change. We have to keep the list of women-owned businesses with us. We're gonna share with you also our initiative on that, how to collect women-owned business and to put them in our directory. Give feedback, train, brief, and outreach. We have to teach them how to tender and how to submit proposals. We have to lower the admin and financial burden in submitting offers as much as we can. Just put what is important, what is needed. Don't put copy-paste tenders from one to another. If something is not needed, let's say bank account, employees listed, minimum threshold, if it's not needed, if it's a small tender, don't put it. This is an extra work for them. Limit the contract size. As much as we can, we have to break down into lots. So we shouldn't combine so many requests in one tender. Smaller individual contracts, lower related risks for them. They are very specified in their experiences, these women. So please make it easy on them. We have to give them better opportunities. Also related to the duration, when we give one contract for certain big corporate for 5 years, that means you are limiting giving chances for smaller companies and women-owned businesses. Limit renewal of the frame agreements. Also, don't renew, try to launch again, give more opportunities. Reduce complexity, we spoke about it, less complicated documents and templates, standardized procedures as well, make it simple and don't request additional stuff all the time. Appropriate financial and technical requirement, we have spoken about this. If it's very complicated, make more load on the technical offer than the financial, because at the end you want a good quality outcome of goods and services rather only than, it's not only about lower price, it's about value for money. Improve payment procedures, we should pay fast for these women because they are self-funded. Okay. So in relation to the Women-Owned Business Directory, actually we have made an effort throughout this program, and hopefully.
Sorry to interrupt you. If you may, just put full mode of the presentation. Can you all see them as a full mode? Yes, full mode, please. Perfect. Okay.
So this Buy from Women platform, I'm sure our other offices in the UN Women, they also have something similar. If any office would like to know more about how we did this, we are ready to share. For the buyers, for our lovely procurement entities, so we have in the UAE, we have gathered something called Women-Owned Business Directory. So far, we have more than 400 companies registered. We verify and we vet actually that they are really owned by women by asking their licenses. And this is, if you scan this QR code, it will take you to the website. First, you have to register. You will automatically have the access. this is the platform of our program. It is a little bit under development, especially under the mentorship and the accelerator part. We have uploaded all our skills, capacity building workshops given to these women on the platform. We also have included the list under Buy from Women tab. So Buy from Women tab, it will take you to a searchable directory. You can search, and all the directions also how to do that is you can search by category or by location or by anything you want. And you can have all the information. Our role here is only to link you with these companies. However, it's up to you to negotiate or to ask for offers and so on. All the details are there as well, contact details and so on. So please let us know also your feedback about this. And in case you dealt with any company, let us know. It's important for our monitoring and evaluation. Do you have any question about this directory? Do you want me to go to the directory itself? Actually, we can.
Let's see if you have any questions. I think everyone is today calm, quiet. Why?
I don't know.
Okay. So far, no questions about the directory, but the directory is very important for all women-owned businesses as well to continue registering. Thank you, Sarah. So you like it. And tell us, it's a good opportunity to link women-owned businesses with the private sector.
Just sorry, a question about the directory. So now it is up and running. I just registered on it, so I looked at it, and it looks that it's working. So we can really search, and all the women in there are valid, and we can actually reach out to them for these categories. Correct?
Correct.
Perfect. Thank you.
Can you see now my screen with on the directory?
Yes.
Yes. Hi. I also had a question. With regard to the directory, what is the criteria that you use for shortlisting the women? And is women entrepreneurs, how do you verify that they are legit business, the quality of the products that they provide will be
okay,
and will be able to meet deadlines and timelines?
Thank you so much. Is it Jean?
Kiran.
Okay, thank you. It's a very important question, Kiran. It's a very important question, what you said. So what we do, we don't, as I mentioned, our role as UN Women is only to provide you the possibilities, the market, to provide these women with market linkage. We don't go into the quality of the work. So what we verified is only their licenses, that they are really owning the business. More than 51% of the company owned by one or more women. And we have taken their profiles, asking them to fill a registration form, asking for what they provide, a brief about the description, their location, their contact details, and so on. But we haven't went into verifying the quality of the work. So this is only like any directory, any yellow pages, or something. It's just for you to know what, and it's up to you to try their products and to verify the quality of their work. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. And from that, I have this other question. Sorry for taking so much time. But how do you get buyers to come and source from the women? How do you get the buyers onboarded, or is it for the UN only, this directory?
No, we publicize as much as we can for all the corporates and government entities. So this list is shared with big corporates and public entities. It was shared before in Excel sheet. Now it is online. Actually, it's the first time we announce it. We're very happy. So now it's online, and we spread the word that it is there. This is how we share with buyers.
Thank you.
I have a few questions on the chat. We're going to send you the link of the directory, of course. Another question is, can I post my procurement opportunities to the women-owned business on the platform?
Excuse me?
As a corporate, are they able to post procurement opportunities to those women-owned businesses on the platform itself?
Amazing. I wish. It's a very It's a very nice initiative. Hopefully, our next, no, not yet, but if you can, maybe later, it's possible that you share with us. Unfortunately, this is only for the UAE so far, for the UAE market. If you can, later we will open this opportunity where these buyers, procurement entity can share with us and we can post it on the platform. But so far, no.
Okay.
However, you can directly contact these women if it's something aligning with their profiles. So if you scan the QR code, it will take you to this, and we will share it, of course, with you. And it is very easily, and we have all the direction how to use the filters. So let me go back to the presentation.
We have questions about how many businesses are on the platform currently. We said around 350 or 380.
No, about 400.
400 more.
And also here, if we click, you can see my screen, Maya?
Yes.
So if you can click on how to work, the filters would work, you would see. Of course, if you have any questions, how to deal with it. And also,
Heba, you are having an admin mode. We need to do it for you as a participant because I can see.
No problem.
Searchable, yes.
Excuse me. So if you are a woman-owned business and would like to be listed in this directory, kindly submit your application through this link. Also, kindly, for all our attendees, participants today, if you know among your network, share with them the link. We're going to verify, Maya, the link. Share with them the link so that they also take part and be listed. Any other question on this, Maya?
No, thank you. There is one more, sorry. Well, who does the certification verification of this list? We have our team working on the verification in terms of ownership and decision-making process by verifying two documents initially, which are the trade license, because we were targeting only women-owned businesses at the first stage, businesses in the UAE, as well as looking at their shareholders agreement at the first place. So those documents were vetted for all those women entrepreneurs. Freelancers, unfortunately, are not part of this directory because we wanted to have, unless they have trade license as a commercial license on that
Okay.
regard.
So this is the QR code. If you can take the picture, it will take you to the platform. Sorry, I forgot to show you all the all the workshops done. The recorded videos, also please spread the word among your network so that they go back to learn about each topic. Okay, we will share it later. On the platform, there are recorded videos. We will share it later. Let's go back to our presentation. Maya, is it clear?
Yeah, if you can put please again the QR code for others who would like to join now immediately.
Again, I would share my screen again.
Yes, on the barcode, because some would like to access it from the QR code.
Okay, is it clear now?
Yes, I think.
Sorry, Maya, can I raise a question? This is Pinar from Young Women Turkey. I was just wondering, you talked about the verification. So is the verification periodically reviewed or renewed, or is it a static verification? So you're verified once when you're joining and that's it. Or is it periodically, do you review all the businesses every, I don't know, 2 years, something like that? So is it a dynamic list? That's what I'm trying to understand. Or is it kind of static? Once you're in it, you're in it. Thank you.
How about we take the question?
Yes. No, it is so far it's very new. We haven't periodically checked. No, we don't periodically. We only initially check their documents that they are women-owned business. That's it. So
I see one more question.
we would be asking them periodically, probably, if they have closed, unfortunately, their company, so that we remove them. But usually they send us an email saying that I've closed or I opened another company and so forth, so on and so forth.
We have another important question as well. And how long will the platform last? Is it attached to a project or owned by UN Women?
Yes, very important question. For sustainability reasons of our purposes, for our efforts, of course, it will not be closed. It might be hosted by another entity or moved to another platform, but definitely we will keep it viable, and we will inform you if it changed. So far, it is on this platform. Okay.
And is it owned by UN Women?
Yeah. I mean, this platform, yes, this is okay. Our program, maybe we forgot to mention at the beginning. It is supported by NAMA Women Advancement Establishment. It is an organization and government entity of Sharjah. They are our partners on this program. Yeah, it is owned by NAMA and UN. Yeah. I mean, not owned. This is for the beneficiaries after all. But yes, the platform, no, it is a provider that we use their services. Did I answer clearly?
I was just, sorry, I was just trying to understand, as for example, as UN Women Turkey, would we be able to connect to this? Could we, will it enlarge, or is it only UAE based and it will stay that way?
The directory so far is UAE. However, we can show you the way how to do it in Turkey. We can share the application form and so on. However, definitely you would need an entity to host this directory. We have possibility under the UN Women platform, other country office. I can share with you by the email. There are Buy From Women platforms as well in other country offices, and you can use the online UN Women platform. However, we did our own. So yeah, we can talk about this, how to do it for Turkey. We can talk about how to, we can show you how we did it for the UAE.
Heba, if you allow me just to, maybe we can just go to the other slides, because being cautious about time, I want to cover all this valuable information that you still have. And then we can get more questions about the directory later. Yeah.
So we have spoken about the barriers and how to overcome the barriers. However, there are also something, this is more technical for procurement entities, how to use, if we want to make a really an effort to change, to address the gap, we have to use preferential procurement policies. So among those, when we do that, we can set targets. Procuring entities can set targets by establishing mandatory goals for procuring and subsequently monitoring their progress. So we can set a target saying that first, at least we have to know how many women-owned businesses are among our supplier base. If it's 1%, we have to put a target saying, for example, in 2 years, I'm going to reach 10%, 20%, and so on, and work towards achieving this target and monitor the results. Also, on the procurement spend, initially, we have to calculate how much of our yearly procurement spend is going to women-owned businesses, and we have to set a target to reach it. Subcontracting plans. This is another way how to improve buying from women. We can request that tender subcontract a certain part of any contract which they have been awarded to women-owned business. Okay, what does it mean? For example, I'm going to give a simple example. If we are a big corporate or a government entity, we award a contract for a certain company to do goods and services, we can ask them or oblige them, or including in the tender the requirement that they have to subcontract a woman-owned business to do part of the work. For example, if the amount of the contract is $1 million, at least we could say 5% of that amount should be in a contract for women-owned business. This is how we improve engaging and giving chances for these women-owned businesses. Another way, we can ask a joint tender bids with one or more women-owned businesses. We can put in our tendering requirement that we are asking for many small women-owned business companies to come together and submit one offer. The preferences, it consists in giving an advantage to bids from women-owned business while evaluating. Okay, this is also should be clear and should be as per the procurement policy and as per the procurement principles as well, and it should be abiding by the law. So we are entitled, we are allowed to give preferences for certain commodities, saying that, for example, we're going to give few examples later. I'm gonna be going fast. We can say, for example, all the sewing products, we want them to come from a certain region in the country or from a certain vulnerable group, women group in this country, and so on and so forth. And we can make it very clear that all these commodities should come from women-owned businesses. Reservation policies where only a certain type of suppliers are allowed to compete for certain contracts. Set aside approach, market survey first. So first we have to make sure that there are eligible women-owned businesses delivering. For example, if it's a telecom, we have to make sure that there are really women-owned businesses providing these services, and then we can award them while evaluating the contract, and we can give them points when they offer, especially on the financial offer. We can give 5% more for women-owned businesses rather, and this is very clear, and it should be very clear in the tendering process as well. If everything is clear before we launch, then we are protected. We could say women-owned business are encouraged to apply for this, and they will be given the preference. Is this, do you have any comments on this? I know this is a little bit complicated and I can go so much into details. Please let me know if you have any question on that. The offer back approach, women-owned businesses are given the chance. For example, we can share with them that we have received an offer with a lower price. Can you give a better offer? If they match, they are given the opportunity to take the tender. So all of these steps we take them when we want to reach our target. So these are the ways how to reach our target and give procurement contracts for women-owned businesses.
Heba, we'll have others, these questions. If you have questions, drop them in the chat box. If I may ask you to put the presentation mode for the screen, yes, to full mode.
Okay. Is it clear? Okay. Here, please allow me, some procurement entities, business entities wouldn't really easily grasp the gender responsive procurement concept. They wouldn't really grasp why would I need to buy from women-owned and not other companies. Where here we're gonna list why it makes business sense and why it is an advantage for these companies to deal with women-owned businesses. So based on facts, we have found that multinational companies, they have, from their experience, their spend with women-owned business diverse supplies along with the ashira, such as, okay, we know that now investors are looking for indicators and to make sure that the company is having sustainable practices, responsible practices, and so on. So this is an added value. When you are giving chances for women-owned business, you can mention it in your sustainability report, responsibility report, and this will give you better chance to be invested in. So it also opens the market for it gives you a very good reputation when you buy from women. When you empower women on this, it gives you a good reputation for the brand. So it opens the door for more markets. Investors are also looking more often at companies' procurement practices. ESG, we spoke about the ESG rating. For example, EcoVadis, this is one of the auditors. It looks into the supplier base, how many are women-owned and vulnerable communities. Attention to CSR within procurement is growing. So these initiatives fall under the CSR efforts as well. So according to Deloitte, I know colleagues from Deloitte are joining us today. I hope they made it. According to Deloitte global survey, the CSR has become a main priority in procurement and is now more likely to be formally measured within business. Diversified sourcing opened the door to a wider range of talents. Of course, when we buy from women-owned businesses, they have a different perspective. They meet our needs and our requests in a more flexible way, so we have more innovative services given to our company. Companies reported that newer suppliers recruited through GRP programs were more likely to introduce new ideas into business as well. If you keep on dealing with same suppliers, then how can you be innovative and how can you get new ideas as well? Even the woman perspective she would know better. It's 50-50 of the population is women and 50-50 of customers are women. So women supplier would open the market opportunity because she knows what women needs. Sorry, I cannot see my screen. Maya, now I understand your struggle when you present. Okay. So women-owned and women-led and gender-responsive business possess a critical perspective on how to target and sell to women consumers. Companies reported that implementing GRP improved services delivery with an increased efficiency, customer service, and productivity as well, especially during the pandemic, where corporates had to deal with local companies, and they found that it is more practical and cost-saving. Maya, any question?
No.
Okay.
Maybe they're saving the questions till the end. So.
Okay. Companies reported increased revenue, reduced procurement spend. So sometimes procurement buyers would say, I only look for value for money. This is actually a little bit wrong. We shouldn't only look for value for money. We should also be responsible when procuring goods and services. So they think that when they want to invest in small companies, it's a big cost. However, statistics shows that increased revenue because it increased their marketing opportunity. They sell more. Their brand reputation is better. Broadening the supplier base led to women-owned business suppliers that were more cost-efficient. Women-owned suppliers become customers themselves, expanding business revenue streams. Consumers currently, as you know, they are more socially and environmentally conscious, of course, and when they know that this company is buying from women-owned business, they are more curious to buy from them that benefit from ethical and sustainable sourcing. Supplier diversity program contribute to community and economic development. Of course, it's a triple effect. Women, they develop their family, their community, when they have a good income, better education, better health, and so on. GRP initiative lower purchasing cost because you increase the competition and more people would apply. UN Women research found that GRP has led to strengthened brand reputation. Okay, sorry, we spoke about this. Has been shown to be a strategic marketing tactic for companies. Okay, so when female consumers are aware that a company supports women-owned business, the statistics shows that 78% will try the company's products. And you can share your experience, please, with us when you know that a company supports women. Would you buy from them or no? 78% will try the company, 80% will solidify their brand loyalty, and 50% will give the company a second chance. So, okay, Maya, I'm gonna hopefully we will be within the time. So this is very important about, you would tell me, give us an example. If I'm a big corporate, what can I do to start GRP? So this is thanks to our colleague from HQ, Jocelyn Chu and Anna Gulop. They did a lot of research and publication and knowledge product that we shared with you in the email. We're going to share later. There is a report saying why GRP makes business sense. And in that, there are so many business cases that I'm going to list few of them here. So for example, Gulf African Bank, they have committed to 20% of procurement spend to be given to women-owned, and they reached 26%. So it's clearly created a return on investment, and they really they developed a financing program for women. And these women, they became suppliers themselves. How they facilitated for these women, they told them, okay, you don't have to pay the 1,000 Kenyan shilling charge when you apply for the tender, and they have given them less complicated forms to complete. They did not need to wait for the procurement cycles. As we said, you have to limit the time, and this is what they did. The bank as well, they coached 700 women in collaboration with UN Women, and they taught the women on business how to do the tendering, and they provided feedback for them. Okay, regarding the Bristol Myers Squibb, this company is a pharmaceutical company, and they are committed to supplier diversity since long time. 1 billion of their procurement is spent on various suppliers, including women-owned businesses. They do a lot of community outreach. This is an example that we can be inspired from them. They support women in STEM. They found that this gives a very big reputation for the company when they support communities. The team drives capacity building. As we said, they build capacity of women-owned businesses themselves. They invest and they mentor. And they give scholarship as well for suppliers, imagine. Okay. Oh my God, Maya, why I cannot move? Okay. So here is an example of UN Women, how it is implementing gender responsive procurement. We register vendors. So the first step, any company should analyze within her data, as we said, how many companies are women-owned. If not, we should start registering per ownership. So in the vendor form, we can put a small click. Are you a woman-owned? If yes, provide a document. So we have increased as UN Women to 15% or even a little bit more now of our vendors are women-owned. And we have reached 15% of our procurement spend to women-owned businesses. Gender criteria and evaluation, we allocate points for women-owned business. Also, when we do the technical evaluation, we give more points for women-owned businesses and women empowerment principle signatories. On the United Nations global market is a roster for women. So now if you go to the UNGM, you would see there is a roster. You can filter by women-owned businesses as well, similar to our directory. Dubai Holding, so this is a few examples in the region here, the rest are global. Dubai Holding, actually, when we started raising awareness about GRP, we were very happy to hear that they started actually registering vendors per ownership, and they are keeping the data, and they are on the way to setting targets. Landmark Group, one of their initiatives, they are including a production line from women entrepreneurs in the Gulf, and they want to sell their products within their outlets in Saudi and other Gulf countries. Okay, this is an example of Aredo. It's a retail company. Aredo is in South America, in different countries in South America. It partnered with Mediapila. Mediapila is a non-profit organization that promotes employment of vulnerable women through technical training and coaching. So they made a decision to pay a higher cost for these products. So they bought from Mediapila, even though the cost is high, but they wanted to invest and to build capacities of these women. And on the long run, the profit came. I mean, they had more profit than cost. At the beginning, they invested and then they started earning. At the same time, they increased, the women in Mediapilla increased 50% of on their salary, and they became formal worker instead of informal worker. So this is a very easy practice. We can do it in all the countries, and we can really make a change. We can partner with a NGO or organization supporting women. This is a fashion brand called Ghani. We've noticed on their website is they have the responsibility report, and first thing is people. So they invest as well, and they build capacities of women-owned businesses, and they survey that all women are treated fairly, and especially because this is a clothing sector, we should really have all the policies in place. And if anything went wrong with any of the supplier, they go and solve it. So they survey all their tires to make sure that they are given equal chances for women. Procter & Gamble and Microsoft, they are very well known for their GRP practices, and actually we learned from their initiatives. Procter & Gamble, they partnered as well with UN Women for Egypt, Nigeria, Pakistan, and South Africa, and to improve inclusion of women-owned business and supply chains in capacity. They built their capacities on how to tender and so on. They encourage their suppliers to become more gender responsive. They give courses actually on unconscious bias and sharing best practices. So they are committed to $10 billion by 2025 for women-owned. And they found that women outperformed, they really performed better when they dealing with women-owned businesses, especially in improving competition. Microsoft, they changed their policies, ensuring inclusion of diverse women-owned, and especially in all requests for proposal and end-to-end procurement process. So they did some preferential policies that the ones that we listed before, they included in their practices. At the end of 2020, they spent 426 million with women-owned businesses, and they use their purchasing power actually to oblige other suppliers, as we said, to deal with women-owned businesses, obliging them in the contracts. Okay, Safaricom is in a telecom actually company in Kenya and other African countries. So they found that when they did the survey within their company, only 2.7% of their tire supplier are women. And they had set a target to reach 10% within, I think, 4 years. So they did a public call, and they called for all women-owned business to participate in the tenders. They provided feedback. They collaborated with She Trade Initiative. It's also another UN initiative. They partnered with other banking to give financial facilities for women in order to start their businesses. And this is a very nice example that we always list, Kamosat. So Kamosat is a telecom company, and they are also committed to support women. So they had a tender where they wanted to put fiber optics. So they gave it to a woman-owned business dealing with piping. They didn't have experience before with fiber optics, but however, they were decided, Kamosat, to build their capacities. So they went with them all throughout all the journey, so that they teach them. They gave them the contract, and they taught them how to do the work. And finally, they built the capacity of this woman-owned business. So this is an example. We can apply it on different sectors. And now 45% of all these companies, suppliers, are women. Imagine. It's actually a significant number. Any questions so far? We almost have finished. Maya, how much time we still have?
We have crossed the 12, but I guess we're good because
Okay.
we're finalizing the last.
Okay, so now and the next steps, how to get started is, I hope that you have learned from this, but now the most importantly, action. How we can start acting. First, as I said, we have to analyze how many of our suppliers are women. We have to start collecting the data. If not, we have to start registering per ownership or doing a survey. We can send a survey for our suppliers, noting or asking if you are a woman-owned, woman-led, and so on. Are the vendors registered? Tracking procurement, we have to track, we have to put targets, and we have to meet with these women-owned businesses by meeting the organizations such as UN Women or other associations such as the Business Women Council. And we also have to engage and invest in capacity building for women entrepreneurs. These are the resources that we shared with you by email. They are available on UN Women website. And thank you so much. Maya, we have to have another poll. This is from our latest event we did for our mentors and mentees in the UAE. They all met, and it was the first networking event actually for them. And also we welcomed our speakers that participated in the masterclass throughout these 2 years. Thank you so much. Please let us know if you have any question.
Thank you so much, Heba. Indeed, this workshop, usually we do it in 3-hour workshops. So thank you for making it like condensed, and hopefully you didn't find it so heavy. And we're happy to have later any clarification that you want to get more about any practice. Heba is here to support you with all the details and the guidance needed. But we wanted to cover everything in a nutshell, just to let you know and have the feeling about how GRP could make really a good and great business case. I'm going to launch a poll, if you allow me, for the last time. This is important for us to get to know how now you feel about being knowledgeable about GRP, and what is your main takeaway for today in terms of action. We'd like to know more about women-owned business challenges, whether it's inspiration that you got from examples and best practices around the world. If you are interested to see how GRP can be implemented within your organization, if you're already taking some actions toward implementing GRP within the organization. So I would kindly ask you all to participate in this poll. And we're happy to take a few questions if you have any questions on the spot. Thank you for participating and being here from Indonesia. It's a bit different. It's a bit later in the journey, in the day. Thank you so much, Asma. Thank you, Babsi, as well. So they want to. Many of you are asking about the presentation. After the session, we'll be providing the recording link as well as a copy of the slide deck that you're having today. Perfect. Thank you so much for being here and for all your interest. We have people saying about actions. That's very nice. Just like we have a lot of actions to be.
Please, we would also ask you to spread the word about gender responsive procurement. Join us in raising awareness. Ask these women entrepreneurs within your network to listen to our master classes. They are really valuable to improve their managerial operational skills. They are on the platform so far, 40 classes. They are amazing. We host very professional speakers, and it's very interactive and practical. If they are in the UAE so far, let them register in the directory. We hope that the same initiative is also done in other countries.
We're happy to share as well that tomorrow we're having a session on employment and inclusivity, especially for people of determination, as part of our capacity building for those SMEs. So if anyone is interested, please let us know so we can just share with you the registration link as well. And thank you so much, Heba, for the information. We see that people are really inspired from examples and best practices as well. They are interested to see how we can implement in the organization. That's amazing. And
anybody would like to share anything with us, any initiative, so that we list them in the examples and case studies, probably from Jordan, the UAE, other places in the world?
Indeed, we had Asia raising this question, if she can share with us some case studies, and we're happy to hear from you, Asia, as you said, later on. kind of success stories on women-owned
Or
businesses.
you can share with us now. Sorry for the late.
Yeah.
If anybody is committed with anything, we can.
Thank
if
you.
you'd like.
Thank you, Hiba. Don't know if you can see me. Oh,
Sure.
yes.
Hi, Asia. Good
How
to
are
see you.
Lovely to see you too. Now I was saying to Maya that we have two organizations in Dubai, and one of them is a trading company that invests back in Africa. So we work directly with female farmers in Africa. So not only we're women-led, but we also work with women in Africa. So what I was saying to Maya is that we have clients now in the UAE who are buying directly from us, and they have not only allowed us as a startup to enter their supply chain, but they're also keen to measure the impact that they're having back in Africa through buying from us. So I'm sure they would love to share some case studies, or at least something that you can share based on gender procurement. So I would be very happy to get them engaged. And some of them are UN Women, they're web signatory. So they would fit really well, and they're very aligned to what you're talking about.
Amazing, thank you.
Amazing.
And there is one point that you mentioned about the moment you, which I really like, and is something that we always talk about. You mentioned something about the moment you invite a startup or another company to the supply chain, then you also increase the competition, the price goes down, right? So there is a lot around how much money they're saving by working with us. So I'm sure they will be happy to share.
Amazing. Asia, I know that you are involved in recruitment, not only recruitment of vulnerable groups such as women, not only buying, right?
Yes, I mean, the other organization I have works with unemployed women across Africa. And a month ago, we signed an MOU with the UNDP in Jordan, so that we can also help women in Jordan out through the program we have. So that's one of the best, one of the achievements this year. So next year we will be able to operate in Jordan as well through the UNDP.
Oh, congratulations. Please, can you share the name of the establishment, the name in the chat?
Yes, of course, I'll share them.
Social enterprise, yeah.
Yes.
This is a great
Thank you, ladies, for allowing me.
Empowering women in the workplace and the marketplace as well. So thank you so much for sharing. Anyone else would like to share or ask questions? Maybe live now, we can turn on our cameras and please drop or ask the question that you have in mind.
Actually, Maya, we can give the example of the event that happened a few weeks ago in Dubai. So we wanted to give a gift and a reward for people who were engaged in our program, and they gave their time to deliver master classes. So we bought from a social enterprise as well, that they deal with programs for women, vulnerable women that support financially their families. They produce sewing products such as bags. So really, people who receive the bag, they appreciate it so much. So you can hit two things in one go when you support women and you can give the gift as well. So it's a meaningful and responsible gift. They are called Skills 3. They deal with a center in Sharjah.
Center in Sharjah. And the gifts were really amazing because we feel it personalized, as well as having the name of the lady who was working on this out of this work.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
So much for your interest and for staying 15 minutes more than what it was expected. We're looking forward to seeing you all again in other workshops, hopefully, and other actions to be taken further. Thank you so much, Hiba, for all the information and valuable guidance that you provided us in a short of time. And have a great day, I would say, for everyone.
Thank you so much, Maya, also for hosting me.